warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today?
Morning.
Alright. We are from Group 12 and would like to present the findings. Our research is ChatGPT and EFL learners, innovation or cognitive shortcuts in English language learning. Alright, AI is developing very fast now, including in education. In English learning, ChatGPT is now very popular among students. It helps writing, grammar, vocabulary, and generating ideas. But there are also concerns. Some researchers warn that ChatGPT can reduce our critical thinking and creative tendency. There are two different views. Some learners see ChatGPT as an innovation that helps them to learn, but others see it as a cognitive shortcut that is harmful. Based on this problem, our research question is why do EFL learners see ChatGPT as an innovation or a cognitive shortcut in English language learning? Right, from previous studies, we know that ChatGPT helps with writing, grammar, vocabulary, and generating ideas. And some studies found that ChatGPT can improve our critical and creative thinking, but other studies found the opposite, that ChatGPT can reduce our critical thinking and creative tendency. But most of studies use quantitative method that they only focus one side, either the benefit or the risk. So the gap is clear that most studies use quantitative method and focus only one side. To fill this gap, our study uses qualitative method, and we already interviewed 5 EFL learners to see why they see ChatGPT as an innovation or a cognitive shortcut. From the next explanation will be explained by my friend Nisa Hairani.
Okay everyone, now I would like to explain the research methodology of our study. As you can see on the slide, the study uses qualitative research. Why use qualitative? Because our goal is to understand deeply the reason, experience, and perspective toward of EFL learners toward ChatGPT. And honestly, we don't just want to know how many people agree or disagree, but we want to know why they think that way. So qualitative research is right choice for us. And next, the research design. We use descriptive qualitative research. That means we describe the participants' views as they are without changing them into number or statistic. We only focus their words and stories. And next, the participants. Our participants were 5 EFL learners from University of Siliwangi, and we selected them using purposive sampling. That means we use we use criteria. We have two criteria. The first one, they are currently language learning, SEF learners, and second one, they have experience using ChatGPT. And also to protect their privacy, we hide the identity and their with the codes like P1, P2 until P5. And next, the data collection. We collected the data through semi-structured interviews. That means we had some questions prepared, but we also let the conversation go. So if a participant said something interesting, we could ask more, and it's flexible and repeat and don't repeat. And last, data analysis. We use quantitative mathematic analysis from Brown and Clark 2000 and 2006. There have 6 steps. The first one, we read and reread all the interview answered, and then we give code to important part, and after that we group the codes into themes, and then we check and review the themes, and then we name themes, and the last we wrote the report. And from this process, we found 2 themes, and for two themes will be present by my friend Maya.
Okay, for the last is finding and discussion. Well, to finding, for the first finding is ChatGPT as an innovation. We can see in this slide, ChatGPT as an innovation can help improve our grammar, vocabulary, and our writing skills. And for the quick feedback, to easy quick information for us. And ChatGPT can give makes learning more efficient and easy to understand. For the next slide is the finding to that is ChatGPT as a cognitive shortcut. That is, learners do not fully trust to ChatGPT. They also must see to other sources, and information must be verified, because when we ask to ChatGPT and give the answer, we must be verified the answer. And some studies rely on it too much, and ChatGPT can lead to dependency and may reduce our critical thinking and less our critical independent learning. And we used to compare the answer from the GPT to see what we search the question.
Okay, for the conclusion, this study shows that the awareness have dual perceptions of the GPT. It is seen as an innovative tool that supports learning, but also as cognitive shortcut that may reduce independent thinking. And therefore, ChatGPT should be used as a supportive tool, not as replacement for learning.
For the last investigation, that is, students should use ChatGPT critically, verify information from other sources, future research, explore large participants, and use different research methods. And the teachers should guide students in using AI properly.
That's all from us.
Sania, please.
Okay, for the question, what do you think about people who aware that ChatGPT can reduce critical thinking, but still keep using it and even become dependent on it? And I want to know what are some good ways to avoid that from happening.
Okay, in our opinion, it is normal situation because ChatGPT makes everything easier and faster.
And they know the risk, but the temptation is they only want to making everything easier and faster.
That's it. Okay. One of the potential problem is that shortcut. Easier and shortcut can be different. Yeah. Shortcut tends to be like negative, like easier, like maybe you will find the answer very easily, but then the next stage is that whether you want still to evaluate the answer or not. That I think in that way we can see whether you are critical or not. Yeah. Silakan. It's not about right or wrong, tetapi ya itu tadi ya shortcut tadi ya. Silakan.